Hi, we're reading the Bible for 28 days and we're currently in the book of Numbers. We would really love for you to join us. Today, we are reading from Numbers chapter 35. And now that we know what we're here for, let us begin. Father, in the name of Jesus, we thank you because your word is spirit and it is life. Thank you because your word changes us every time that we read. Amen. Amen. Verse 22 of chapter 35. But if without enmity someone suddenly pushes another or throws something at them unintentionally or without seeing them, drops on them a stone heavy enough to kill them and they die, then since that other person was not an enemy and no harm was intended, the assembly must judge between the accused and the avenger of blood according to these revelations. The assembly must protect the one accused of murder from the avenger of blood and send the accused back to the city of refuge on which they fled, to which they fled. The accused must stay there until the death of the helpers who was anointed with holy oil. But if the accused ever goes outside the limits of the city of refuge to which they fled, and the avenger of blood finds them outside the city, the avenger of blood may kill the accused without being guilty of murder. The accused must stay in the city of refuge until the death of the high priest. Only after the death of the high priest may they return to their own property. This is to have the force of law for you throughout the generations to come, wherever you live. Anyone who kills a person is to be put to death as a murderer only on the testimony of witnesses, but no one is to be put to death on the testimony of only one witness. Do not accept a ransom for the life of a murderer who deserves to die. They are to be put to death. Do not accept a ransom for anyone who has fled to a city of refuge, and so allow them to go back and be on their own land before the death of the high priest. Do not pollute the land where you are. Bloodshed pollutes the land, and atonement cannot be made for the land on which blood has been shed, except by the blood of the one who shed it. Do not defile the land where you live and where I dwell, for I, the Lord, dwell among the Israelites. Chapter 36. The family heads of the clan of Gilead, son of Machir, the son of Manasseh, who were from the clans of the descendants of Joseph, came and spoke before Moses and the leaders, the heads of the Israelites' families. They said, when the Lord commanded my Lord to give the land as an inheritance to the Israelites by lot, he ordered you to give the inheritance of our brother Zelophehad to his daughters. Now suppose they marry men from other Israelite tribes. Then their inheritance will be taken from our ancestral inheritance and added to that of the tribe they marry into. And so part of the inheritance allotted to us will be taken away when the year of Jubilee for the Israelites comes. Their inheritance will be added to that of the tribe into which they marry, and their property will be taken from the tribal inheritance of our ancestors. Then at the Lord's command, Moses gave this order to the Israelites. What the tribe of the descendants of Joseph is saying is right. This is what the Lord commands for Zelophehad's daughters. They may marry anyone they please, as long as they marry within their father's tribal clan. No inheritance in Israel is to pass from one tribe to another, for every Israelites shall keep the tribal inheritance of their ancestors. Every daughter who inherits land in any Israelite tribe must marry someone in her father's tribal clan, so that every Israelite will possess the inheritance of their ancestors. No inheritance may pass from one tribe to another, for each Israelite tribe is to keep the land it inherits. So Zelophehad's daughters did as the Lord commanded Moses. Zelophehad's daughters, Mahlah, Tirzah, Hoglah, and Milcah. Hoglah, Milcah, and Noah married their cousins on their father's side. They married within the clans of the descendants of Manasseh, son of Joseph, and their inheritance remained in their father's tribe and clan. These are the commands and appellations the Lord gave Moses to the Israelites on the plains of Moab by the Jordan opposite Jericho. We have come to an end of Numbers. We have come to the end of reading the book of Numbers. The next is Deuteronomy. So we'll continue from Deuteronomy chapter 1. You didn't do a happy lens. Deuteronomy chapter 1. These are the words Moses spoke to all Israel in the wilderness east of Jordan. That is, in the Arabah opposite Soph, between Paral and Tufel, Laban and Hazeroth, and Disahab. It takes 11 days to go from Horeb to Kadesh Barnea by the Mount Seir road. In the 14th year, on the first day of the 11th month, Moses proclaimed to the Israelites all that the Lord had commanded him concerning them. This was after he had defeated Sihon, king of Amorites, who reigned in Heshbon, and at Edrei had defeated Og, king of Bashan, who reigned in Ashtaroth, east of the Jordan, in the territory of Moab. Moses began to expound this law, saying, "The Lord our God said to us at Horeb, 'You have stayed long enough at this mountain. Break camp and advance into the hill country of Amorites. Go to all the neighboring peoples in the Attabah, in the mountain, in the west foothills in the Negev, and along the coast to the land of the Canaanites and to Lebanon as far as the great river the Euphrates. See, I have given you this land. Go in and take possession of the land that the Lord swore he would give to your fathers, to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and to their descendants after them. At that time I said to you, You are too heavy a burden for me to carry alone. The Lord your God has increased your numbers so that today you are as numerous as the stars in the sky." Ooh, and that's a fulfillment of the promise that was made to Abraham. That's good. May the Lord, the God of your ancestors, increase you 1,000 times and bless you as he promised. But how can I bear your problems and your burdens as your dispose by myself? Choose some wise, understanding, and respected men from each of your tribes, and I will set them over you. He answered me, "What you propose to do is good." So I took the leading men of your tribes, wise and respected men, and appointed them to have authority over you, as commanders of thousands, of hundreds, of fifties, and of tens, and as tribal officials. And I charged your judges at that time, "Hear the disputes between your people and judge fairly, whether the case is between two Israelites or between an Israelite and a foreigner residing among you. Do not show partiality in judgment. Hear both small and great alike. Do not be afraid of anyone, for judgment belongs to God. Bring me any case too hard for you, and I will hear it." And at that time, I told you everything you were to do. Then, as the Lord our God commanded us, we set out from Horeb and went towards the hill country of the Amorites, through all that vast and great wilderness that you have seen. And so we reached Kadesh Barnea. Then I said to him, "You have reached the hill country of the Amorites, which the Lord your God is giving us. See, the Lord your God has given you the land. Go up and take possession of it, as the Lord, the God of your ancestors, told you. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged." Then all of you came to me and said, "Let us send men ahead to spy out the land for us and bring back a report about the routes we are to take and the towns we will come to." The idea seemed good to me, so I selected 12 of you, one man from each tribe. They left and went up into the hill country and came to the valley of Eshcol and explored it. Taking with them some of the fruit of the land, they brought it down to us and reported, "It is a good land that the Lord our God has given us." But you were unwilling to go up, You rebelled against the command of the Lord your God. You grumbled in your tents and said, "The Lord hates us." So he brought us to Egypt to deliver us into the hands of the Amorites to destroy us. Where can we go? Our brothers have made our hearts melt in fear. They say the people are stronger. They say the people are stronger and taller than we are. The cities are large with walls up to the sky. We even saw the Amalekites there. Then I said to you, do not be terrified. Do not be afraid of them. The Lord your God, who is going before you, will fight for you, and as he did for you in Egypt, before your very eyes, and in the wilderness. Dear, you saw how the Lord your God carried you, and as a father carries a son, all the way you went until you reached this place. In spite of this, you did not trust in the Lord your God, who went ahead of you on your journey in fire by night and in a cloud by day, to search out places for you to camp and to show you the way you should go. When the Lord heard what you said, he was angry and solemnly swore, "No one from this evil generation shall see the good. It's a good land I swore to give your ancestors. I said Caleb son of Jephunneh, he will see it, and I will give him and his descendants the land he set his feet upon, because he followed the Lord wholeheartedly. Because of you, the Lord became angry with me also, and said, you shall not enter a spider, but your assistant Joshua son of Nun will enter it. Encourage him, because he will lead Israel to inherit it, and the little ones that you said would be taken captive, your children who do not yet know good from bad, they will enter the land. I will give it to them, and they will take possession of it. But as for you, turn around and set out towards the deserts, along the route to the Red Sea. Then you replied, we have sinned against the Lord. We will go up and fight as the Lord our God commanded. So every one of you put on his weapons, thinking it easy to go up into the hill country. But the Lord said to me, tell them, do not go up and fight, because I will not be with you. You will be defeated by your enemies. So I told you, but you would not listen. You rebelled against the Lord's commands, and in your arrogance you marched up into the hill country. The Amorites who lived in those hills came out against you. They chased you like a swarm of bees and hit you down from Seir all the way to Homa. You came back and wept before the Lord, but he paid no attention to your weeping and turned a deaf ear to you. And so you stayed in Kadesh many days, all the time we spent with. Chapter 2. We're going to take a break here. Hello, Bible reader. We've read for a while and we'd love to take a break. Please feel free to get a stretch, drink water, catch your breath, and we will continue immediately. You can also decide to pause at this point and then play when you are ready to continue. Now let's start the second half. Now let's continue from chapter 2. Then we turned back and set out towards the wilderness along the route to the Red Sea. As the Lord had directed me, for a long time we made our way around the hill country of Seir. Then the Lord said to me, you had made your way around this hill country long enough. Now turn not. Give the people these orders. You are about to pass through the territory of your relative, the descendants of Esau, who live in Seir. They will be afraid of you, but be very careful. Do not provoke them to war. I will not give you any of their land, not even enough to put your foot on. I have given Esau the hill country of Seir as his own. You are to pay them in silver for the food you eat and the water you drink. The Lord your God has blessed you in all the works of your hands. He has watched over your journey through these vast wilderness. These 40 years the Lord your God has been with you, and you have not lacked anything. So we went on past our relatives, the descendants of Esau, who live in Seir. We turned from Araba Road, which comes up from Elet and Ezion, Geber, and traveled along the desert road to Moab. Then the Lord said to me, do not harass the Moabites or provoke them to war, for I will not give you any part of their land. I have given Ar to the descendants of Lot as a possession. The Amites used to live there, a people strong and numerous, and as tall as the Anakites. Like the Anakites, they too were considered Rephaites, but the Moabites called them Amites. Horites used to live in Seir, but the descendants of Esau drove them out. They destroyed the Horites from before them and settled in their place, just as Israel did in the land of the Lord, in the land the Lord gave them as their possession. And the Lord said, now get up and cross the Zered Valley. So we crossed the valley. 38 years passed from the time we left Kadesh Barnea until we crossed the Zered Valley. By then, that entire generation of fighting men had perished from the camp, as the Lord had sworn to them. The Lord's hand was against them until he had completely eliminated them from the camp. Now, when the last of these fighting men among the people had died, the Lord said to me, today you are to pass by the region of Moab at Ar. When you come to the Ammonites, do not harass them or provoke them to war, for I will not give you possessions of any land belonging to the Ammonites. I have given it as a possession to the descendants of Lot. That too was considered the land of the Rephaites, who used to live there. But the Ammonites called them Zamzumites. They were people strong and numerous and as tall as the Anakites. The Lord destroyed them from before the Ammonites, who drove them out and settled in their place. The Lord had done the same for the descendants of Japheth, who lived in Seir, when he destroyed the Horites from before them. They drove them out and have lived in their place to this day. And as for the Avites, who lived in villages as far as Gaza, the Caphtorites coming out from Caphtor destroyed them and settled in their place. Set out now and cross the Arnon Gorge. See, I have given into your hand Sihon the Amorites, king of Heshbon, and his country. Begin to take possession of it and engage in a battle. This very day I will begin to put the terror and fear of you on all the nations under heaven. They will hear reports of you and will tremble and be in anguish because of you. From the desert of Kedemoth, I sent messages to Sihon, king of Heshbon, offering peace and saying, that is actually true, like the other verse, that every time we hear Israelite, half a nation, small but light. Like, God's word actually does come to pass, like, 4,000 years after. We're like, let's continue. Where did we stop? Okay. From the desert of Kedemoth, I sent messages to Sihon, king of Heshbon, offering peace and saying, let us pass through your country. We will stay on the main road. We will not turn aside to the right or to the left. Sell us food to eat and water to drink for their price in silver. Only let us pass through on foot, as the descendants of Esau, who live in Seir, and the Moabites who live in Ar, did for us, until we cross the Jordan into the land the Lord our God is giving us. But Sihon, king of Heshbon, refused to let us pass through, for the Lord your God had made his spirit stubborn and his heart obstinate, in order to give him into your hands, as he has now done. The Lord said to me, see, I have begun to deliver Sihon and his country over to you. Now begin to conquer and possess his land. When Sihon and all his army came out to meet us in battle at Jahaz, the Lord our God delivered him over to us, and we struck him down, together with his sons and his whole army. At that time, we took all his town and completely destroyed them, men, women, and children. We left no survivors, but the livestock and the plunder from the towns we had captured, we carried off for ourselves from Aroer on the rim of the Anon Gorge, and from the town in the gorge, even as far as Gilead. No one town was too strong for us. The Lord our God gave us all of them, but in accordance with the command of the Lord our God, you did not encroach on any of the land of the Ammonites, neither the land along the course of the Jabbok, nor that around the towns in the hills. So God has said, engage this guy in battle. And they're just asking to pass. I mean, now we're seeing the behind the scenes of what happened in Numbers. It's really cool. Chapter 3. Next, we turned and went up along the roads towards Bashan. And Og, king of Bashan, with his whole army, marched out to meet us in battle at Edrei. The Lord said to me, do not be afraid of him, for I have delivered him into your hands, along with his whole army and his might. Do to him what you did to Sihon, king of Amorites, who reigned in Heshbon. So the Lord our God also gave in our hands Og, king of Bashan, and all his army. We struck them down, leaving no survivors. At that time, we took all his cities. There was not one of the 60 cities that we did not take from them. The whole region of Argob, Og's kingdom in Bashan. All those cities were fortified with high walls and with gates and bars, and there were also a great many unwalled villages. We completely destroyed them, as we had done with Sihon, king of Heshbon, destroying every city, men, women, and children. But all the livestock and the plunder from their cities we carried off for ourselves. So at that time, we took from these two kings of the Amorites the territory east of Jordan, from the Anon Gorge as far as Mount Hermon. Hermon is called Syrian by the Sidonians. The Amorites call it Senir. They took all the towns on the plateau and all Gilead and all Bashan as far as Salika and Edrei, towns of Og's kingdom in Bashan. Og, king of Bashan, was the last of the Rephites. His bed was decorated with iron and was more than 9 cubits long and 4 cubits wide. It is still in Rabbah of the Ammonites. Of the land that we took over at that time, I gave the Reubenites and the Gadites a territory north of Aroer by the Anon Gorge, including half the hill country of Gilead, together with its towns. The rest of Gilead and also all of Bashan, the kingdom of Og, I gave to the half tribe of Manasseh. The whole region of Argob in Bashan used to be known as the land of the Rephites. Jair, a descendant of Manasseh, took the whole region of Argob as far as the border of Geshurites and the Maakatites. It was named after him, so that to this day Bashan is called Havoth Jair. And I gave Gilead to Machir, but to the Reubenites and the Gadites I gave the territory extending from Gilead down to the Arnon Gorge, the middle of the gorge being the border, and out of the river Jabbok, which is the border of the Ammonites. Its western border was the Jordan in the Arabah, from the Kinneth to the Sea of Arabah, that is the Dead Sea, below the slopes of Pisgah. I've heard Pisgah before. I commanded you at that time, the Lord your God has given you this land to take possession of it, but all your able-bodied men armed for battle must cross over ahead of the other Israelites. However, your wives, your children, and your livestock, I know you have much livestock, may stay in the towns I have given you, until the Lord gives the rest to your fellow Israelites as he has to you. And they too have taken over the land that the Lord your God is giving them across the Jordan. After that, each of you may go back to the possession that I have given you. At that time, I commanded Joshua, "You have seen with your own eyes all that the Lord your God has done to these two kings. The Lord will do the same to all the kingdoms over there where you are going. Do not be afraid of them. The Lord your God himself will fight for you." At that time, I pleaded with the Lord, "Sovereign Lord, you have begun to show to your servants your greatness and your strong hand. For what God is there in heaven or on earth who can do the deeds and mighty works you do? Let me go over and see the good land beyond the Jordan, that fine hill country, and Lebanon." But because of you, the Lord was angry with me and would not listen to me. "That is enough," the Lord said. "Do not speak to me anymore about this matter. Get up to the top of Pisgah and look west, north, and south, and east. Look at the land with your own eyes, since you are not going to cross the Jordan." But commission Joshua and encourage and strengthen him, for he will lead these people across and will cause them to inherit the land that you will see. So we stayed in the valley near Beth Peor. Chapter 4. Okay, Moses is about to read the picture, but we have come to an end of today's reading. Thank you so much if you have been reading with us. I want to let you know that you have made so much progress, and I will see you tomorrow. Before you go, please do not forget to like our videos, subscribe to our channel, and share the videos so that so many more people can join us in reading the Bible from Genesis to Revelation.